delivered a Sunday sermon at the Washington National Cathedral. Unknown to King and those in attendance, it will be his last sermon ever. Erie News Now Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon reports on this historic final Sunday sermon.
This is the Washington National Cathedral. It's well known for its neo-Gothic architecture, stunning stained glass, and rich history. It's also an integral piece of the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
In front of the Washington National Cathedral sits a very large pulpit where Dr. Martin Luther King gave his final Sunday sermon in March of 1968.
To have the opportunity of standing in this very great and significant pulpit.
From this Canterbury pulpit on March 31st, 1968, King delivered his sermon titled, "Remaining Awake Through a Great Revolution."
We stand in the most segregated hour of America.
It was an uneasy time. There was war going on.
It was the height of the Civil Rights era and the Vietnam War. Canon Missioner Reverend Leonard Hamlin says it was a crucial time for U.S. decision makers.
What are the decisions that really reflected the democratic principles, the kind of reputation that the country wanted to hold in the world?
Mankind must put an end to war. War will put an end to mankind.
The sermon centered around unifying and staying present during the fight for civil rights, economic prosperity, and peace.
But having his voice here presented an opportunity not only for the country to move forward, but even for some just to begin to consider how we live together, work together, and build a community together.
The world in which we live is geographically one.
5 days after King's sermon, a memorial service was held at the cathedral following his assassination in Memphis.
No one was anticipating that would take place or how it would affect the country. We all struggle at times to be present in every moment. So in that moment, were we really listening to his sermon about staying awake?
Reverend Hamlin believes King's message is just as important now as it was over 55 years ago.
To engage each other, to build relationships with each other, to love one another, to really not just have it in word, but to make sure that we are turning those words into action.
In Washington, Brendan Scanlon reporting.